Welcome back to Kaijuly. And today we are talking about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, or King Ghidorah, or King Ghidra, or just King Gigi Gagi Goo Goo. Okay? Okay. Memento. Forgot to bring out the DVD. This is a part of the DVD collection I have here. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991, 92, whatever. 91. 92 is the other one. I actually watched these out of order because when I got this I didn't know which order it was. So I watched Godzilla and Mothra Battle for Earth first. And this one. But this one comes first. So Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is a movie. So apparently, the previous film, Godzilla vs. Biollante, which brought in a new original monster, didn't do so well. So they decided that for the next few Godzilla films, they would bring back classic monsters. And first was Godzilla's most famous foe, King Ghidorah, or Ghidorah, or Ghidra. Just, you know. And this was in a new continuity, starting with Godzilla 85, or Return of Godzilla, which was a different Godzilla than that of the original Godzilla. Yes, so the story revolves around, there's a Terazawa, not Sarazawa, but Terazawa. He's our main character, and he finds this guy who claims that in World War II, a dinosaur helped save his battalion. I'm not going to go into that because the Japanese were aligned with the Nazis, and we're not going to go into that. But, yeah, supposedly. But there's no proof. Then these aliens weren't really aliens. They're called Futurians. They're humans from the future who have to be dubbed because they still speak Japanese. But they're American except for Emmy, who's Japanese. Anyway, they tell them that in the future Godzilla will destroy Japan. And so they have to go back in time to World War II to stop the nuclear to stop Godzilla from being turned, stop the dinosaur from being turned into Godzilla, because they believe this dinosaur that saved them turns into Godzilla. So, yeah. So the Futurians take with them Terazawa and Miki, suppose whatever, and they have these little creatures called Dorads, which was like little mini cute Ghidorahs, but with one head. And they get rid of the dinosaur after it saved people from Japan. And they had the same actor play the guy, so he looks the same age. Okay. And there's another executive guy who was also there when saved stuff. And, yeah, we'll get to that. They get rid of the dinosaur. The dinosaur is killed, and they get rid of the dinosaur. And they go back to the future, to the present time. And there's a new monster now. King Ghidorah, because they left the Dorads behind. And the nuclear test somehow fused them together to create King Ghidorah, even though they would create three separate monsters because there's three separate monsters. I don't know. But King Ghidorah. So then they realize they need Godzilla to stop him. Emmy confesses to Terazawa that actually they lied, and they were only there to make sure that Godzilla isn't created so that King Ghidorah could destroy Japan for real. There's no one to stop him. Because they could have just had King Ghidorah be created. Now, there is some timeline messing here because they decide they need to find the dinosaur's dead carcass, and it's somewhere in the sea, and they need to use a nuclear submarine to do it. Now, the English dub glosses over this, but in the Japanese version, they say that this Godzilla, who was already created underneath the water, is a different Godzilla. It's actually the Godzilla from Godzilla 85, where the dinosaur was actually the first Godzilla. So, technically, they did nothing other than maybe stop the initial attacks in 1954/6. Who knows? Because this is a different continuity. Godzilla 1984 picked up, 1985, sorry, picked up, 30 years later, and it was a direct continuation of the original Godzilla. Even brought back Raymond Burr, at least for the American version. But, it's a different Godzilla. And so, this guy, this Japanese businessman, Godzilla defeats King Ghidorah. He's like bigger and badder now. He defeats King Ghidorah, but then it's still Godzilla, so now he's going to destroy Japan. Like they said he was going to, but they lied, but, And this Japanese businessman thinks that my friend the dinosaur who saved me is still in there. So in the English dub, this makes sense. But if you go by the original version, it doesn't make sense because it's a different dinosaur. It's a different Godzilla. So your friend wouldn't even be in there. Just saying. But yes, and then there's also an android who's like a protector of Futurians, and he goes after Emi and Terasawa, and then he is reprogrammed by Emi to help. And then they decide to go to the future and dig up the remains of King Ghidorah in the future, which we see at the beginning of this, and create Mecha King Ghidorah, which I thought was going to play into Godzilla vs. Kong, but it doesn't. We'll get to that when we get to that, but... And I'm sitting there watching this going, the first time I watched this, going, wait, why do I have to go all the way to the future? Well, the technology. Not that it does anything, really. Godzilla takes this thing down too, but then he, Emi's able to get, Godzilla, and both Godzilla and Mecha Ghidorah are defeated. And after almost the entire film of presenting Terasawa and Emi as love interests, I think this was done so Emi could go back to the future without any strings. She admits that she's actually a descendant of his, which kind of throws a weird shade over the romantic interest thing. Because they're presented as that throughout most of the entire film, and yeah. So, a couple things to unpack here that I want to point out. The Americans, clearly there are two Americans speaking Japanese. Yeah, they go back to World War II, and we have Americans clearly dubbed, but still speaking, you can tell that they're speaking English. One of them is Spielberg, Major Spielberg, which would be Steven Spielberg's father. And in this film alone, there are 3 films you can say he got the idea from. Aliens could be 4 different films. E.T. and Close Encounters. The war things could be 1941 and Saving Private Ryan. That's 5, because you could also Dinosaurs, which is Jurassic Park. So yeah, you worked in a Spielberg character, And there's influences for 5 of his films in this. That's actually kind of cool. The Japanese businessman is an idiot because it's not even the same Godzilla. Although you can be forgiven in the English dub, they don't spell that out. So, you don't know. The only reason that they had time travel is because Godzilla vs. Biollante lost to Back to the Future Part 2, so they decided we're going to put some time travel in here. CGI is a little meh. I mean, it's not good. It's 1991. Also, this is the same year that Terminator 2 came out. They have a scene in which the robot guy has there's an explosion. He's got pieces of he's a humanoid, pieces of his skin's off, tears off some of his arm and stuff. Yeah, you see what they were going for here. But I think this is one of the more enjoyable Godzilla movies. I remember first watching this. Excuse me. I remember first watching this, and when I got done, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. It is pretty good. It's one of the better Godzilla movies, and I like it. I think it was well done. There's some parts that are a little meh. But overall, pretty good Godzilla flick. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm gonna, when I'm done with this, I'm gonna do, my top 10 Godzilla movies that I've watched through this. So, be looking for that. Also, I've decided, it might even be out, because I might even record it today and have it out. But who knows. That I'm going to do a top 10 worst superhero movies. Or comic book movies, I should say. There are a few I have to talk about, but then again, I might do that today at the same day I'm recording this, because this will come out on Tuesday. And I'm recording this on a Monday. And so you might get that video on Monday if I feel so obliged to do so. Or I get a, urge to do it. But who knows? But yes. So what are your thoughts on Godzilla versus King Ghidorah? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.